that we are committed to the level of change that they've indicated that they want to see. And at the moment, we've got a motion in front of us which commits to a report and nothing else. And what this does is inject that urgency and that reassurance that our voters, that we are absolutely committed to a shake-up here. And I can't for the life of me understand why there aren't more councillors willing to get behind this statement, because I think it's an important statement that we need to put to our electorate. But I do appreciate the assurances opposite, particularly from Councillor Oldham, and of course I take him at his word and look forward to working with him in the months ahead.
Thank you, Councillor. Can we have all those in favour of the amendment? All those against? It's defeated. Back to the substance. I'll get there in the end. To Councillor MacDonald's motion. Councillor May.
Yes, thank you very much. In the spirit of cross-party working and the new start of this council, we will be supporting this motion. It's very clear we need to work more collectively together going forward, and I welcome the opportunity to look at all aspects of this via the overview and scrutiny panel, which is what Councillor MacDonald has proposed. It is very much about what we can do in the interim and forward. We have 4 years to make a difference to Bromsgrove. We have £14.5 million of levelling up money to be spent in accordance with the government guidelines. We have £2.8 million of UK shared prosperity money that needs in the third year specifically to be spent around the skill set, upskilling the people in this district, upskilling those that can't afford to buy a house in an area where the cost to buy is 14.6 to 1 on average earnings. Those are the fundamentals. It's not about titivating around the edges, it's making differences to our residents' lives. So we will wholeheartedly be supporting this motion. I look forward to working, and members on this side of the chamber, working with the group opposite and across the whole chamber for the betterment of Bromsgrove. Thank you very much, Madam Chairman, and we will be supporting you, Councillor MacDonald.
Thank you, Councillor May. Councillor Baxter, please.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank Councillor MacDonald for putting this motion forward, because in a way it adds the meat to why I'm sitting here and my fellow independents are sitting here. Because we're sitting here because we want change. Change is hard. I haven't been around quite as long as you. I think I've only done 20 years on the council, and I think the committee system just disappeared before I came in. So I'm not totally aware of how it works. I know how it works in other councils, and I know how it doesn't work in other councils. And I just want to be absolutely sure that we separate the problem from the solution. We know we've got a problem. We know we need to fix it. Our electorate have told us we've got a problem, so we've got to do it. But I think we need to, well, I know we're going to engage support from outside. The Committee on Audit, Governance and Standards will be coming in and running workshops with us, actually analysing what's best for us. So we all need to be involved in that. Everybody from all corners of this chamber needs to get engaged in the process, need to think about what will really work best for us, and most importantly for our residents. So yeah, I really welcome this motion. I look forward to working with everybody around the chamber. We wouldn't be sitting here if we weren't going down this journey. So really look forward to it, and I will be supporting the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Baxter. Councillor Canello.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Yeah, it was just to reiterate the fact that this is going to be a very hard session of 6 months or so. And I'd just like to ask Councillor MacDonald in his motion to bear in mind that from day one that the process is clear and transparent. And it's clear and transparent to members of the public, and remind members of the public that these meetings are obviously open to public scrutiny, as were our overview and scrutiny meetings themselves, and audit meetings are open to the public. So no doubt during that process you'll be able to come along and you'll be able to see the latest updates as this council transitions into a committee system. So I welcome your motion, Councillor MacDonald, and I'll certainly be supporting it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Peters.
Thank you, Chairman. I fully support the substantive motion that Councillor MacDonald has put forward. It's obvious, given the results of the election on May the 4th, that has to be changed. The electorate have actually spoken, and Councillor MacDonald is quite right. The cabinet system has not been effective for most of the members in this chamber. We've had very little, if any, input into decisions. In fact, it's very much like the Westminster Parliament. So there has to be a change. And I think the public need to understand why there are members of the independent group on the cabinet. It isn't because the independents are closet Tories. It's because the cabinet system has got to be made to work until the new system is introduced. And those members, those independent members on the cabinet, will influence the process. And hopefully by this time next year, we will move to a full committee system, because the Local Government Act 2000 only allows the system to change at every annual meeting. So we can't change it now, and we can't change it until next May. And then having it introduce the new system, hopefully, with the committee system, it cannot then further be changed, I understand, for another 5 years. So this is going to be a long-term change, and I think it will be to the benefit of this council and to the benefit of the people of Bromsgrove.
Thank you, Councillor Peters. Councillor Taylor.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Congratulations on your office. This is probably about the only time I think I've ever agreed with Peter. I think my mother, who Peter was contemporary with, is probably rotating furiously in her grave. So if there are any earth movements or anything around the Caxton Cemetery region, you know what's caused it. I wouldn't say I've ever had a sneaky regard for Peter, but Peter is a bit what you see is what you get. I feel confident in what he has said, even though there's been a change which took us slightly by surprise. And I believe Councillor MacDonald will put this forward as data-led. There's a lot of perhaps maybes and could-bes going around the room, and an assumption that there is going to be a change. There might not be a change, but it's going to be O&S, and Councillor MacDonald will be transparent, and I'm sure he'll be as thorough as he normally is. So in that case, for once, and I tell you what, it's really difficult this, I will be supporting Councillor MacDonald.
Councillor Peters. Councillor MacDonald to someone. Oh, sorry. Does anybody else have anything to say? Okay, someone, please.
I've got nothing really to say because we're all as one on this one, which I'm grateful for. And let's go forward and do the business.
Aim to vote, please.
Thank you, Chairman. So I will read out each member's name in turn. When I read out your name, please could you indicate whether you're voting for Councillor MacDonald's motion, against or abstaining on the vote. Councillor Amar. Councillor Alan Bales.
For.
Councillor Rachel Bales. Councillor Baxter. Councillor Colella. Councillor Dale. Councillor Elledge. Councillor Evans. Councillor Forsyth. Councillor Gray. Councillor Hopkins. Councillor Hotham. Councillor Hunter. Councillor Jones. Councillor Kumar. Councillor Lambert. Councillor Marshall. Councillor May. Councillor MacDonald. Councillor McEldowney. Councillor Nicholl. Councillor Knopp. Councillor Peters. Councillor Josh Robinson. Councillor Siobhan Robinson. Councillor Rowan Clark. Councillor Stanley. Councillor Stewart. Councillor Taylor. Councillor Webb. And Councillor Whittaker.
Unanimous. Carried. Thank you. there is officer appointment, there's one recommendation on page 147, which needs to be proposed. I think it's Councillor May proposing. Councillor Hogan proposed.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. This is to reappoint Mr. Carpenter as our Section 151 officer for a period of 6 months. I think previous members will recall that over the last 4-year period we have had a tricky situation with our accounts, to say the least, and we ended up with a Section 24 notice from the auditors because we were unable to provide our accounts on time. One of the causes of that was instability in the finance team and also a lack of suitable personnel, or numbers of personnel in the finance team. We had 2 finance officers come and go in quite quick succession, and we found ourselves in significant difficulty. I think we were extremely lucky to find Peter, who came here on a consultant contract, and I understand all the concerns about consultant contracts. His contribution has been immense. He's taken us from really a very desperate situation to a position where at least we can start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. There's still more work to do. We have the financial recovery plan that he's been instrumental in putting in place. And whilst ideally it would be great to have a permanent replacement, this is an interim appointment for 6 months. The costs, as you will see, are equivalent to that we would be spending should we have a permanent position in a permanent role. And I hope that we will, as a council, firstly acknowledge the great work that Mr. Carpenter has done and agree this extension. Not agreeing the extension would put this council in significant jeopardy over the next 6-month period. In terms of finding a permanent replacement, that was started, but it was considered that because the election was coming up, any potential applicants would be put off, not knowing how the makeup of the council would be. We now have a circumstance where we know what the makeup is, and after the last vote, we know how we're going to move forward. So I think that puts us in a much better stable position for looking for a permanent replacement, and I hope you will support this motion, or this resolution. Thank you.
Can I have a seconder, please? Please, Councillor
Yes,
May.
thank you very much. I'm delighted to second this. I can only echo what Councillor Hogan's just said. In Mr. Carpenter, we have a very competent officer who has given above and beyond to getting this council back on track in terms of its finances, and we're very grateful for that. I have to just make one point. Although we were issued with a Section 24, the finance capacities across the whole of the public sector and beyond are extremely stretched at this moment in time. And the issues that many of you in the chamber will be aware of, and many of you won't be, is that at one point we had 15 vacancies in our finance department, which is one of the challenges. Financial positions across the whole of the sectors, the private and the public sector actually at this moment in time, are very, very, a wide number of vacancies, but there are very few people able to complete them or to fulfil the positions. So I'm absolutely delighted to second this recommendation, Madam Chairman, and thank you very much.
Councillor MacDonald.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I make it quite clear that I'm speaking to the report, not the person. So in no way am I calling upon the confidence of the officer at all. I'm talking to the report, and this recommendation concerns a Labour group. This person was appointed a year ago, no matter what problems we're being told happened. I find it difficult to believe that we couldn't have replaced this post within the last year. And our concern is to give another 6 months Who knows, for 6 months, you want another 6 months. The situation is, this should have been resolved by now. So far as the Labour's group is concerned, we won't be supporting.
Anyone else? Councillor Hoven, please, to sum up.
Thank you, Councillor Donald. I fully agree with your sentiment, and I will be working to make sure that we end up with a permanent solution to this before this temporary extension ends. As I say, at the moment, not to renew would be extremely destabilising for the council. But that isn't the real reason that we need Peter Carpenter. It is his ability and the work that he's done so far that demonstrates his great value to this council. So I will read the resolution. The council resolves that the appointment of the interim chief financial officer and section 151 officer approved by the council for 12 months on the 22nd of June 2022 be extended for up to a further 6 months until 22nd of December 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Please, all those in favour? All those against? Any abstentions? It's carried. There's one urgent business, page 5 of the supplementary pack, Worcestershire Regulatory Services. We need 2 nominations, one of which must be a cabinet member, the portfolio holder for Regulatory Services. And nominations for 1 substitute position are also requested. Councillor May.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. I'd like to nominate the Cabinet Member, Councillor Kit Taylor, and the other member as Councillor Helen Jones to keep the momentum going, because she is one of the remaining people in this chamber that has actually had experience in Worcestershire Regulatory Services. And I think in terms of service delivery, that's most important. And in terms of the sub, I'd like to recommend Councillor Mike Marshall.
Okay.
Thank you.
Seconded for the first Councillor Webb.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and congratulations on your post. I'm happy to second these proposals.
Thank you very much. Any other nominations? No. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you very much. They have told me I can close the meeting now. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.